G20, we have member countries, all are present here. India, Indonesia, Brazil, this is the Troika. Argentina, China, European Union, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, and United States of America. 8 are present here. Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Netherlands, Oman, the agency with all the partners are there with us. Out of 32, 31 country or agencies are here. So the knowledge contribution is very successful. That about all the stakeholders in India. You all know that. But this cooling conference, we have taken a people's participation movement, Jan Bhagidari. More than 5.2 crore participants were there during the last 21 days. From 1st June to 21st June, within 21 days, we could organize a massive outreach program in the G20 framework on the issue of education specific, foundational numeracy and literacy and numeracy issue. Today, with this outcome document, there are 5 broad issues we agreed upon. All G20 members agreed to critical role that education plays as an enabler of human dignity and empowerment globally. We re-emphasize on this issue. There is a total unanimity on this concept. All G20 members agreed on the need to work together for a resilient, equitable, inclusive and sustainable future through education. The future climate challenge can be only met out through education, through a primary information from the early age. All G20 members agreed on the need to ensure that everyone, irrespective of age, gender, socio-economic or cultural background, or those who are facing physical, mental or other learning difficulties or special needs, have access to quality, inclusive and equitable education and training. Fourth agreement is all G20 members agreed that the education is not only about academic learning, but also about developing life, technical and vocational skills to make all learners future ready. They also underlined the need for the lifelong learning. The fifth agreement is recognize the important role of achievement of SDG. In SDG 4, there is a total commitment of the global leadership to fulfill in a short span. And I don't want to repeat that. The 4 priority area, FLN, future skills, lifelong learning, research and technology. These are the 4 areas we have deliberated. And friends, I can read point. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today in his inaugural message conveyed very categorically that India's G20 presidency must be decisive, must be inclusive and action-oriented. I am thankful to all the member countries, not only from all other ministries, and especially the host state, Maharashtra government, and all of you have made the event very successful. You all have cooperated to make it very grand and very decisive. These are the major feature of NEP 2020. The global leadership in a way has endorsed all these views. There is an agreement, the central role of all teachers and education staff in all of the world to promote education. There is a unanimity. The capacity building of teachers. Friends, with this successful agreement, we are all happy. We are indebted to previous presidency Bali. We are congratulating the future presidency Brazil. And I am thankful to my three senior colleagues. One is not here, but other two colleagues in whose leadership we could achieve this working group meeting. Mr. Sanjay Murthy, Secretary Higher Education, and his co-chairman, Mr. Sanjay Kumar, Secretary School Education, and the friends from Ministry of External Affairs, and again the local government, and all of you, up to the participant of the ongoing exhibition. I am an activist. I know there are a lot of aspects of the government are there. Seldom people satisfy on any government program, but I am happy there is a public demand in Pune. This exhibition must go on. There are limitations, but I assure you, this outcome, I can say this is the outcome of G20. There is a much appreciation of society about technology, about FLN, about deep research, about lifelong learning, about the new skills. मित्रों, मैं आप सभी का आभारी हूं। आप सभी के सहयोग से हमारे दोनों मित्र देश, जिन्होंने पिछले दिनों में G20 प्रेसिडेंसी की काम संभाला, इंडोनेशिया, अभी जो उन्होंने अगले साल सितंबर तक भारत की प्रेसिडेंसी रहेगा, उसके बाद ब्राजील को उसकी नेतृत्व आएगा। इसलिए ब्राजील के आदरणीय मंत्री जी भी हमारे साथ थे। हमारे साथ यूनिसेफ, यूनेस्को और OECD की सारे अथॉरिटी भी थे, लीडरशिप भी थे। आज एक शिक्षा के माध्यम से मानवता का एक नव जागृति हम करें, इसी की एक निकष, इसकी एक कॉन्सेंसस इस G20 पुणे की कॉन्फ्रेंस में हमको उपलब्धि हुई है। लंबे समय तक, मैं आपके सामने ये कहने के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूं, लंबे समय तक भारत की, केवल भारत की नहीं, दुनिया की एजुकेशन प्लानर्स की डायरी में पुणे G20 विल बी ए लैंडमार्क पॉइंट। यहाँ जो निर्णय हुआ टेक्नोलॉजी को लेके, छोटे बच्चों को पढ़ाने को लेके, नए प्रकार की स्किल को अडॉप्ट करने को लेके, ये सारे के लिए डीप टेक रिसर्च, डीप साइंस रिसर्च कैसे हो, ये सारे कामों में आप सबने मिलकर उसको बहुत सफल बनाया। ये प्रेस नोट आपकी पास से जाएगा और आप सब एक G20 की एक्सपर्ट इस बीच में हो चुके हो। मैं भी पिछले 3 दिन से आपके साथ समय बिता रहा हूँ। मैं आपकी रिपोर्टिंग को भी पढ़ रहा हूँ, थोड़ा थोड़ा मराठी भी पढ़ लेता हूँ, तो उसमें मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ आप सभी का। आप सबके सहयोग से ये अच्छा कार्यक्रम हो गया। बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स। हाँ, प्लीज।
Sir, I'll just request Dr. Ivan to kindly share a few words to brief about his experience here.
Thank you so much. His Excellency Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, and His Excellency Mr. Camilo Santana from Brazil, and Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and hello, fellow Indonesia. I would like to congratulate India for the amazing facilitation and also hospitality during the G20 Education Working Group meeting. We have learned a lot, not only about the topics of the discussion. That is also, of course, very important we have to 4 cities from Chennai, Amritsar, Bhubaneswar, and now in Pune. And we have come to love India. And very thankful for Indian presidency, also in advancing the agenda for education transformation. In particular, Indonesia would like to highlight how India has really moved the agenda to better than the previous one, especially first the emphasis on the provision of quality learning with the principle of equity and inclusivity, especially how we can provide better support for the most vulnerable groups in the population. And the second one, the emphasis on the foundational learning. We know because of the COVID pandemic that the foundational learning is very important for us to really focus on in order to recover. So then the ecosystem can move forward, especially on the literacy and numeracy. And the third one is the emphasis on collaboration. I think the theme of the Indian presidency, One Family, One Earth, One Future, really captures our spirit of how we envision a better future through education together. Again, Indonesia would like to thank India for the amazing facilitation of the education working group this year, and of course wishes Brazil.
How do you like Pune?
Oh, I love it so much, Mr. Minister. I love the food. I tried the food yesterday, last night. Some food is maybe a little bit spicy, but my stomach is okay, so I think that I can try more. And I think the people also, Mr. Minister, are very friendly, very helpful. I've had a wonderful time in Pune, and I think I'd love to come back again one day. So thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Dr. Viman. Now I will request His Excellency Mr. Santana, the Honorable Minister from Brazil, for a few words.
Okay, I'm going to speak in Portuguese, but my colleague is going to translate. Mas, em primeiro lugar, eu queria parabenizar o Ministro da Educação da Índia e toda a sua equipe pelo trabalho realizado, pelo brilhante trabalho realizado aqui. Você quer traduzir? Vai traduzindo?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Minister of Education of India and his team for the wonderful work they have done here.
E por ter escolhido a cidade de Pune para a realização do encontro presencial dos ministros.
And for the hospitality and for the choice of Pune for the in-person meeting of ministers.
Cumprimentar o representante do Ministério da Indonésia e parabenizar pelo trabalho realizado no ano anterior.
Take also the opportunity to salute the representative of the Ministry of Education of Indonesia and congratulations on the work done last year.
Cumprimentar também aqui o representante da Unicef, da Unesco e da OCDE.
So, salute the representatives of UNICEF, UNESCO and OECD.
Dizer que o trabalho realizado aqui na Índia, sem dúvida, irá contribuir muito para os países do G20 na área da educação, principalmente com um produto entregue hoje, que é um compêndio com experiências de cada um dos países do G20.
No doubt the work done by India will contribute a lot to the G20 countries, particularly the compendium that has the best practices shared by all countries.
Nós sabemos que nós vivemos em um único planeta, com culturas diferentes, mas ainda com muitas desigualdades entre países, entre nações, entre povos.
We live in one earth with different cultures, but yet a lot of inequalities between countries, between peoples.
E nós acreditamos que através da educação que nós possamos construir um mundo mais igualitário, mais inclusivo, mais justo para todos. O grande caminho é através da educação.
Through education we can build a more inclusive, more fair world. We do think that the path is through education.
Nós estamos num novo momento no Brasil, com a eleição do presidente Lula e com o compromisso de olhar a educação como prioridade de uma nação. E eu tive o privilégio de ser convidado para ser ministro e agora o privilégio de presidir o grupo temático da educação no próximo ano do G20.
We are in a new moment in Brazil with the election of Lula da Silva, and I had the privilege of being chosen as minister, and now I'll have this privilege of chairing the G20. And in this moment that we are in our country, education has been identified as a nation's priority.
Nós propomos agora na reunião 3 temas para que a gente possa focar no próximo ano da presidência. Um deles é a formação de professores e a valorização da carreira de professores. Esse é um tema que acho que é comum a todos os países do G20. Portanto, precisamos fortalecer a qualidade da formação inicial e continuada dos professores, como também a valorização das carreiras. Precisamos estimular e incentivar pessoas a serem professores em todos os países do G20.
We suggested 3 topics for the discussions of next year. The first one being teacher training. We want to look also at the teacher careers. We see that all countries share a concern in this. We want to strengthen the quality not only of initial training, but also of continuous training of teachers. And we want more people to want to be teachers.
O compartilhamento de plataformas digitais hoje pedagógicas na educação no mundo inteiro. Acho que esse é um dos produtos que nós temos o desafio de queremos entregar após a conclusão da presidência do Brasil, é que a gente possa compartilhar todas as plataformas digitais dos países do G20, focados na questão da educação, e não tenho dúvida que isso irá colaborar para a qualidade da educação dos países do G20.
The second one, the sharing among platforms. We see a challenge, and we hope that we can achieve at the end of our presidency to deliver on this, a sharing mechanism that all content of the national platforms of countries can be shared with one another. We think this will contribute a lot to education.
E o engajamento comunitário das nossas escolas. As escolas não podem ser um espaço apenas isolado. Ela precisa integrar com a sociedade, com a comunidade, com os problemas da população. E nós estamos propondo, nesse terceiro tema, premiar as experiências exitosas que acontecem nos países do G20, como uma forma de estimular a integração das escolas com a comunidade em todos os países.
And the third one, the community engagement of schools. The school cannot be an isolated place. The school needs to be integrated to the problems of the population around it. We are suggesting for all the G20 countries the idea of a prize through which we can look at best practices at the school level, learn from them as a way of enhancing, as a stimulus for more schools to engage with the communities.
Bom, para terminar, eu queria dizer que os desafios são enormes do mundo hoje digitalizado, da conectividade, de reduzir a desigualdade entre os países do G20 e dizer que nós esperamos poder continuar contribuindo, o Brasil poder continuar contribuindo nessa discussão, liderando o G20 da educação no próximo ano. Convidar todos, inclusive aqui agradecer e com certeza iremos contar com a colaboração da Unicef, da Unesco, da OCDE, que são importantes nesse processo, porque todos nós temos algo em comum, que é buscar garantir a qualidade da educação e a transformação de um mundo melhor. Portanto, mais uma vez, parabenizo aqui ao ministro, agradeço a hospitalidade e espero encontrá-los todos no Brasil no ano que vem.
The world has enormous challenges. I'd like to point out the connectivity issues, the digital divide, the inequality between G20 countries. We hope to give continuity to this debate next year by chairing the G20. We would like to invite all to be in Brazil. We thank everyone. And we count on the cooperation of UNESCO, OECD, and UNICEF. We see we have a common challenge to tackle together. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now I just invite Mr. Jenkins from UNICEF.
Well, thank you. I will be very brief. Let me also congratulate India for such an excellent presidency of the G20 and stewarding this meeting, and congratulate for such a positive outcome. Also congratulate Brazil for taking on the presidency for the next cycle. I think I just have 2 very quick points. One is on the process. Again, congratulations, and this emphasis on collaboration and of documenting best practices. I was privileged enough to visit the exhibition yesterday, and such amazing examples from various states and partners of reaching children at scale, huge numbers, as the minister mentioned, and making a real impact around some key issues. And also congratulate the Minister of Education from Brazil for the topics that are coming for the future. So congratulations on this process. and on promoting this collaboration. On the substance of what was discussed, on my second point, congratulations for, and multiple governments during the deliberations referred to the importance of foundational learning. And I just, as UNICEF, want to congratulate and acknowledge how important foundational learning is, basically enabling all children to read and write and do math in time for them to continue along their schooling is critically important. And it continues to be a challenge in all countries globally. And this commitment to accelerate progress for children to gain those skills in time to continue and fulfill their potential is just very, very impressive. So thank you. Thank you again for your leadership in that conversation. The other thing that both ministers, actually all three ministers, have mentioned and are committed to and are amazing examples of the commitment to reaching marginalized children or reducing disparities or promoting equity. You've heard all three mention that. This has been a challenging time globally in the education sector in the response to the pandemic 2 years ago, many schools being closed, having an impact on children and growing disparities. So this commitment of these three governments and of the G20 to address those disparities and reach marginalized children to enable them to catch up is just, again, very, very impressive. So congratulations. UNICEF, I'm sure, along with our other partners here, stands ready to continue to collaborate. And again, congratulations for such a successful outcome of this process. And we look forward to collaborating with Brazil in the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Now I'll request Dr. Boren from UNESCO, who has facilitated us in working with all the three knowledge partners and assimilating this report to us.
Thank you very much, and namaste first, and I would like to congratulate all of us for this achievement. It's a historical day, it's a historical place. Pune is also a historical achievement. We have outcomes, all the G20 countries and guest countries. It's a rich resource that can be used among the G20 countries, but also will be used by all other countries that look at the G countries, what they are doing and what they are doing in terms of reform. Rob mentioned 2 points. I would like to mention 3, just to add 1 point. But the first, I think, is very important, is that there is no secret. Countries who are having equitable societies, who are making sustainable development, inclusive growth, are countries who are investing in education, who are giving education for every citizen, and placing that in a lifelong learning perspective. From early child education to adult education and vocational training, and the minister mentioned this in the different instances. So investing in education is a vector, is an objective in itself, is a human right, but education, investing in education, is also unlocking the development in other sustainable development goals, from poverty to gender equality to infrastructure and other areas like climate change. The second, I would like to acknowledge all the efforts that the government has been doing in investing in education. We have highlighted in the compendium and the program the Education 2030 policy that the government has put forward, the achievement that have been achieved during the last few years, and this is very important in terms of the initiative that, again, are part of the wealth and the resources that are put available among the G20 countries, but also for beyond the G20 countries. I would like also to mention something that is very important, is that in the declaration, in the outcome document, in the discussion, international cooperation among the G20 countries was important, but also solidarity is how all the resources, how all this engagement is also shared beyond the G20 countries to serve other countries in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, and beyond. Let me congratulate again the Troika, because starting from Indonesia to India and looking forward to Brazil, we have this, I would say, important attention to development and to sustainable development, to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we know that the three countries have been supporting and part of the Transforming Education Summit, and the transformation of education. Together with UNICEF, OECD, UNESCO stands to continue the support. We have a strong relationship with the government of India. We have already important collaboration with the upcoming presidency with Brazil. And of course, we have a long-standing collaboration with Indonesia. So we will continue working. And I would like still to acknowledge the team, the G20 team in the Ministry of Education. We cannot say more word than saying thank you for your team spirit. Thank you for the collaboration. Thank you for the humble engagement that we have had with you. With that, we have achieved in a very intensive moment a preparation of a compendium for a report with high quality content on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Boren, for your kind words. And I'll now request Honorable Minister for Education for his last words.
मित्रों, मैं सभी को, हमारे दो आदरणीय मंत्री मित्र महोदय और हमारे भारत सरकार के दोनों वरिष्ठ सचिव तथा अन्य सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स को आपके माध्यम से धन्यवाद देता हूं। मित्रों, मैं अंत में आज जब ये मंत्री स्तरीय समूहों की उद्घाटन हुई, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की उद्बोधन से वो कार्यक्रम शुरू हुआ, जिसकी एक प्रेस नोट आपके पास है, जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी की प्रेस नोट में जो विषय लिखा गया है उनमें से कुछ हिस्सा मैं आपके सामने सिर्फ उसकी YouTube में भी लिंक है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कुछ विषय को जोर देते हुए कहा है, सारे as education ministers you are the Sherpas leading mankind in our efforts for development, peace and prosperity for all। ये सिर्फ क्लासरूम की विषय नहीं है, मनुष्य को एक नई स्तर तक ले जाने के लिए शिक्षा की एक भूमिका है, ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का कहना था। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये भी कहा, फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी फॉर्म्स ए स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस फॉर आवर यूथ। He said that he is glad that foundational literacy and numeracy has been identified as a priority by your group as well। He asked the G20 education minister to resolve to work on it in time-bound manner by 2030, जिसके बारे में डॉक्टर ब्रुहेन ने उल्लेख किया। देयर इज ए डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर 2030, विश्व भर के बच्चों को ठीक से पढ़ लिख जाए, जिसकी जेनकिन जी ने भी उनको उल्लेख किया कि पूरा G20 में कॉन्सेंसस बना कि मार्जिनलाइज बच्चों को कैसे महत्व दिया जाए। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने उसी के बारे में आह्वान किया। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये सारा विषय को कहते हुए ये भी कहा है, क्वालिटी एजुकेशन के माध्यम से सुशासन स्थापित किया जाए, बेटर गवर्नेंस स्थापित किया जाए। ये ई लर्निंग के माध्यम से टेक्नोलॉजी की बहुत यूज करके हम एक टाइम बाउंड फ्रेमवर्क में लोगों तक पहुंचे। यही सारे विषय सफलता के साथ पिछले सप्ताह भर में पुणे में चल रहा था। इसी के साथ G20 के भारत की जो दायित्व था, भारत की जो एक ग्लोबल कॉन्सेंसस बिल्डअप करने के लिए जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था, उसको हमने आज सफलता के साथ पूरा किया है। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Merci.